All right. Yes, dear ones. Complicated journey, and yet you gathered much new energies that are really needed for making the choice to move forward. For you have made the choice, and now you want to perceive what is different. And so, in these next days, as you journey forth into your illusion, consciously look for what is different. What am I sensing? I have a new set of raw materials. I get to apply my new tools of creation, new desire, new imagination, new expectation. You're going to be aware of what you used to choose, but now it's different. You're going to feel more free. You're going to feel that lightness of being. And so to emphasize that in the days that follow, that things are different now. A shift, a change has occurred. All right, and we do have some in line for questions. Who do we begin with?
Francis.
All right, is he here?
Yes.
And can people unmute?
They should be able to. There we are.
Hello. Thank you,
Yes,
John.
dear.
Hello there, Tara. How are you?
Well, we are
Tara,
all
I am. I know you're always well. I just like to say that very ridiculous thing. anyway, Tara, I have noticed, like today I took off. I didn't do anything, but I had a day with my soul. So I listened to music that is very soulful for me. And I really enjoyed it. I really, really did. I noticed I'm not interested in many of the things I've been interested in before, how to make a living and stuff. And things are just changing for me. I mean, what do you see in my field?
So the question of what we see isn't so relevant as what you see. What are you perceiving? So tonight's meditation is about expanding your perceptions. So as you are recognizing, oh, I'm just not excited about the same thing. So what are you excited about? See, it's not enough to just say what you don't want. It's important to apply new desire, new imagination, new expectation to what do you want to create.
Yeah.
And
No,
now,
I do know.
what's your...
Pretty big,
Yes, go
pretty
ahead.
big goals. Yeah, I'm sorry. The goals are much bigger than I've ever imagined before. So it's kind of exciting and scary at the same time.
Wonderful. So as you immerse yourself in what do I believe at this moment and what do I need to believe? So what can I believe instead? So I'm just not interested in doing things the way I did them before. So you're clearly aware of how you did them or what it took to do them in the past. And if you were to give that sort of a word, would that be struggle? Would that be suffering? Would that be prioritizing work over the rest of your life? What would be the theme there that you want to be free of, that you don't want to
I think
put into the theme?
struggles are probably a good word for that. I think more of it may be chauvinistic. It may be more masculine dominated. It may be more. I think you know what I mean.
So
kind of
efforting,
yeah,
and out of that efforting, the chauvinism would show up not so much in the efforting itself, but in the competition or the comparison. I do this better than others. I'm stronger. I'm able to, I have more stamina. I can survive the pain to get the gain, so to speak. That's the chauvinism. Now, does that mean that you aren't going to
also
effort at all? No, but the effort might be in a different arena. It might be in no, I'm willing to do what it takes to imagine myself in the new reality. I'm willing to let go of the negative thoughts and emotions that don't serve me so that I can stay in the resonance of beauty longer and longer. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think that the competition is a very good word. I really don't want to do that anymore. I don't really want to compete or prove or, any of that stuff. I just, that's been a big part of my past. And I just want to give that all up. I just want things to show up with ease and elegance and in a peaceful way. And anything that I see that's competitive or anything that I see that is, where I need to prove something to somebody else, I'm just not interested in that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think that other stuff was really, gosh, really, really part of my past. And I don't want to take it into my future. I just want things to show up in a very magical way where if people notice, great. If they don't notice, great too. And I don't want to have to validate myself like I have in the past. I don't want to have to validate myself to other people. I already know that I'm good enough, and so that's it, really.
So this validating thing, it's
Yeah,
out it's outside of you, isn't it?
it is outside of me. There was always things like in my sales businesses, and I represented some very, very good things, but to do the business, I was competing against other people for positions and this and that. I really don't want to do that anymore. I'm willing to let it go. I don't want to be on a chessboard.
All right. And so to define what you do want is important because in the
Yes.
defining of who do you get to be, not just what you have, but who do you get to be in the having of it? What do you know about yourself? What do you know to be true? And as you put it in the context of if I could create it any way I wanted, what would I create? Because you can.
Well, Tara, that's a good question, and I have an answer for you. And that the answer is, I'd like to be a champion of children and people that need help. I'd like to be an uplifter. I'd like to be an encourager. I'd like to be able to make a difference in the world and in people's lives, and not just for me, but for them. And I think any kind of projects I do that could be profitable and fun, that's the direction I'd like to go in.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
All right. You have your vision.
I do. Yes, I
As you
do.
explore the you that is being that vision, then you get that touchstone that you need that allows you to know, yeah, I'm on track. And you have that.
Yeah,
You have that
I
sense.
think I do. I think I do. And of course, your calls have been so great, how you help other people. And then when I get the microphone, I get on a call with you. It is so fulfilling and so great. And so once again, let me thank you for being here with all of us and helping us work things out.
Certainly
It's
so.
very critical.
We love you.
Oh,
So
you're welcome. Love you too, Tara.
wonderful. You're right on track, Francis.
Thank you, Tara.
All right, John, who is next?
Helen.
All right.
Hi, Tara.
It's tier one. Where do we begin?
Um, what I'm wondering is there's a couple of things that I've been kind of pondering, but the first one is like when I've been healing an issue. So, for example, with Edward and Mom, um, when I'm creating, like as I'm healing, I heal being dominated, I heal being victim, I heal being unloved. But am I at the same time healing like what's going on for Edward and Mom? So like with Edward, he's the dominator. Maybe he's got entitlement. Like, do I heal the reverse side of the issue? Is that part of the map I'm making for the world? Because I've been focusing on my side, but not like the other side. And I'm wondering, am I only doing half of my programming or my healing and my map making?
Well, it's a fine line between allowing the reality to shift and change because you have change, which is what you are wanting to create, you see, and control, which is when you focus on them, then now you're pushing against, now you're making them too real. Now you become, you're waiting to give yourself credit or to change until they do. So it's much more effective to work on yourself and then to allow the changes to emerge in the illusion. And they will. They
But
will.
when I like, I mean, I'm not talking about like then seeing them heal necessarily, but just healing, like, let's say, entitlement in general, like Edward's entitlement. Like, if I'm healing that situation with me, does that heal, like, not necessarily for them personally, but does that heal dominators or entitlement in general?
Yes. As you let something go within yourself, it there's less of it in the world. Absolutely. So you heal your shame, you heal your pain, there's less of it in the world.
Okay.
Stop your martyrhood, and there's less of it in the world. Stop your victimhood, there's less of it in the world. Now,
But
does
do,
that mean it's a perfect representation? No, because your illusion will always represent a range of possibility, a range of expressions. The question is, which one are you directly interacting with right now? That is the average of your range. That's your consensus. And where are you operating above or outside of the consensus? The more positive side of the range. We may not be exactly explaining it perfectly, but as you understand, oh, I'm in a different resonance today. I'm empowered. I know that I ended my shame or I ended my pain. I'm not going to pick up pain anymore to justify when my reality doesn't work. I'm not going to separate from my higher self. I'm going to stay connected. I'm not going to go into pain willingly because in pain, something else happens to me. There are consequences for choosing pain. When I'm willing to set that down as a resource, so to speak, you don't think of it as a resource. First, you think of it as a victim. But when you really get that, oh, there was a painful event in the past. There were many painful events, perhaps. But as I've grown, as I've changed, I don't need that pain. I don't need to be reminded of pain because I don't choose to be separate anymore. I choose to connect to the more of me. to my higher self, to my soul, to my spirit. I choose to be in dominion. So then your experiences of reality will begin to shift into a more positive, painless. You will begin to hear people talking about, wow, I used to live in pain. Now I don't have pain. Or you might see a study that was done, how people are dealing with pain. And is it real? Is it actually real? Or is it a perception? Is it a choice? Is it a dynamic? What is it? What is it after all? The world used to think it was all physical. And there's a whole new thought around pain emerging, that you can end it, that you don't have to be in pain. So that's a reflection of you ending your pain, isn't it? The possibility that the world doesn't have to be in pain. Does that make sense? Is that along the lines of what you are asking?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm at the, yes. I'm trying to figure out what it is, like when I'm making that map, what am I, like what's the what's the expansion, the
Well,
boundaries of
what's
it?
the possibility is, as you say, a world free of having new choices beyond that. You see, there weren't a lot of choices. When you came into the template of chauvinism, you agreed on some level, not consciously, you agreed, I will be separate from, and I will long for, and that will be part of my journey. As Lazar said, you chose pain as part of your experience. Not because you're bad and wrong, but because you were curious. Because you wanted to know, well, if it's a choice, shouldn't I know all there is about it so that I have a choice, so that I'm empowered to choose it or not choose it? But you didn't have to choose it. You didn't have to create it as part of the experiment. But those of you who are in the physical plane at this time did choose it. And so you want to move beyond it. You have moved beyond it. It's no longer required. Those who are being born into the physical plane now don't come in with that pain because of the maps you've made. They don't need the pain. And so as you honor yourself for, oh, it was out of curiosity that I included it in my experience. I wanted to consciously come home. And this was one of my mechanisms that I chose. Because if I come in and I disconnect, and then it's a journey of connection, then I know the difference. Then I know that I chose to be connected consciously. It's not by default. It's not by accident. It's an empowered choice. And as you value that about yourselves, not just you, Helen, it's all of you, mapmaker magicians, reality creators. You chose this dynamic. And so you can, as you lift the shame, and you have, then you can value it. Oh, it was part of my plan. It was never meant to be that painful. I did go into the extreme of it in some instances, but I found my way back home. I found my way to my spirituality, to my connection with higher self, to my relationship with God, Goddess. And that matters to me. And now I won't go into pain again because I know what purpose it served and I don't need it anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes. And sort of related, there's now somebody in my immediate orbit who says they go through these kind of extreme ups and downs. Like they're not bipolar, but they do have these kind of like manic swings, not all the time. And I was experiencing the person this weekend, and they were so joyful. And I wasn't sure whether it was alcohol or drug induced or whether it was them. And I was suspicious of this joyful. And so on one hand, I'm like, oh, what? Like at first, I'm like, oh, how wonderful to see the person so happy. But then I was very suspicious of this joy. And I feel very conflicted about it. Um, because then I was like, you are you sober? And I questioned him. Because I was worried about something they were going to do later, and I wanted them to be safe. And then I was like, it's kind of strange to be questioning somebody who seems extremely joyful, um, and to not trust that joy. Uh, what is it if somebody's like bipolar or not quite bipolar, but has these big swings and you see this big joy? Is there a form of that that's when they say they're manic, that's bad?
Well, it's a very personal experience on your part as you look to see what's uncomfortable about it, what's unsafe about it. What is it about it that you don't trust, that your intuition is telling you? So don't make it about them and whether their condition is manic depressive or bipolar or whatever. Don't give it a label. Then you don't have the freedom to explore your intuition around, oh, interesting. Here I am programming for more joy, more miracles of love. I want positive days every day. But then my reaction to someone who's showing me an extreme version, I suddenly want to back off. I don't trust it. What about that is important for you to pay attention to? Well, does it mean to be joyful? What do I want it to look like? Because part of you is saying, this isn't it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So was the person too out of control? Were they not rational? Were they not grounded? Were they not making sense? What about it? So
They were
as you
they were not grounded. They
so
weren't
you
grounded.
just to yourself and say, okay, higher self, I'm creating more joy. I want it to be grounded. I want it to make sense to me because I can create it any way I want it. So I've created this range of possibilities of what does joy look like. And there's this extreme version that is more reminiscent of someone going into fantasy instead of into imagination. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's important information, isn't it? Because you don't want to reject joy. You don't even want to reject extreme states of joy. But for you, there's a distrust around, there's a certain energy in that isn't connected. And that's the key for you. No, I need to be able to maintain my connection. I need to be expansive and uplifting. And I want to have positive impact on people. That person didn't have positive impact on me. Is that what happens when I'm in a joyful state? Does it create distrust? Does it disconnect me from other people? I don't intend to. So this is an inquiry for you to have within yourself. What does it mean to be joyful? What does it look like? What's the grounded version of joy where I'm authoring the reality, where I'm in my authority and I'm responsible for the consequences too? Where I'm creating positive outcomes. Because your reaction wasn't that positive, was it?
No.
It felt unsafe or unsettling or not quite right. So whatever you're experiencing in reaction to them, you can be sure you're judging whether around this topic of being in joy for yourself, is there a level where you will refuse it? And maybe the truth of the matter is, it's just not the joy that you're focused on. That state isn't really joy. But what is it if it isn't? See, that's the curiosity, that's the mystery in the resonance of joy. What's acceptable behavior? Your consensus is going to tell you one thing, and then your inner self needs to decide. How much do I conform to what's expected? And how much am I free to be? Because the goal is always around freedom of self, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Self-expression. I want to be fully self-expressed. I want to be in joy. I want to have positive impact. So it's not just enough to just be in joy, is it? Is what you're learning. Joy by itself isn't good enough. It has to have positive impact. It has to be with purpose. It has to be a contributor to my environment. And so as you're defining these things, that's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Because then you're giving your inner self the message, hey, I want to achieve these states and I want to be accountable for the outcome. So higher self, help me create the circumstances where I'm free to be in joy. And when I'm in that state, feeling those feelings, I'm not out of control. I'm empowered to have positive impact. But you're going to find that there is some sort of subconscious warning here that says, hey, if you get too emotional in these higher states, you're going to be out of control. Nobody's going to like you. And that is not coming from your spiritual adult, is it? Look to the adolescent on that one. Because it's coming at you in your illusion. So it is for you. It is for you to define. What does it mean for me? What's important about this showing up? Because you are reaching for more joy. But if reaching for more joy is going to get you, people are going to think you're crazy, you're not going to go for it. It's in the way. That belief is in the way. That being in joy means going crazy. Or whatever. We're using a word. Pick the word that's right for you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then as you clean that out, then you can have true joy, your definition of joy. You will be free to be in joy. And then the experiences that you have won't be like that one. Okay. Does that help?
Yes.
Beautiful.
And then the one other thing, there's not really a question about it. I'm, there's kind of another wave here in DC where I'm feeling sort of deep grief. And I don't really have a question. I guess I'm just sharing in some way. On Friday, the Trump administration fired 20% of all the State Department employees. And I was talking to somebody, he was in a training, and as the day went on, like people just got notified. Somebody who's a 20-year veteran was supposed to be like the senior whatever in charge of whatever, and the Canada consulate like literally just stood up in the middle of the training and walked away because they were just getting email notifications, and people from 2 months in the State Department email notification. Like it just was this very traumatic. It's been a very traumatic weekend in DC. And another person, Harry had his retirement party. And on Saturday it went very well. We did get rained on. The band didn't play, but it was wonderful. But like there was just one guy at the party who he there was I think 49 people in his office, and only him and one other person didn't get fired. And there was something sad about the party in that, like, all these people in Harry's office who worked together anywhere from like 15 to 30 years, they were all there, and they've all been fired or like retired in the last couple of months. And there was something almost like heartbreaking about it. And it was nice that they were all together where they got to see each other. And there really isn't a question in this. It's just been kind of a sad, traumatic couple of days in DC. And, I think it's going to just come in waves. And, it was very traumatic back in, end of January, beginning of February. And I think like we're going through another shock wave right now. And I've been very sad and kind of sad about the whole thing.
Wonderful.
When I talk to people.
So you have a dichotomy happening. There are reasons to celebrate, and yet there's this grief. So it's important to hold the space for both, isn't it? So as you say, what there is to celebrate is the gathering honors all that participated in the 15 to 30 year period, the closeness and the camaraderie and what they built, the value they brought together, the purpose that group served for the time that they worked together, the friendships that were built. So much to celebrate. And yet in the context of we're being deleted, you might say.
His whole department the department disappeared now. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yes, deleted. Who am I really is the question that needs to be asked. Because in the face of that, how much of their identity, a lot of it would have come from the value they brought at work. Those values don't disappear. They don't, even if their role got deleted, they exist and their value continues to exist. They may need to be creative on how they're going to apply it next. And they're going to have to go through that quest of, who do I want to be next? How much of this is still important to me to pursue? And how much have I been putting on hold in the face of work of this nature and the intensity that it was? And so there's this opportunity. It's not a beautiful ending, not the ending they desired, with the respect and the reward and the honoring that should have been there. But your celebration brought that. And so as you let your heart warm to, I made that, I contributed that piece that didn't come from where it should have come, from the organization that should have honored them. But you brought that. And as you let that in, I knew that was going to be important. I was called to play that role. And I brought that light and that love. And so as you celebrate that, even if you have to celebrate quietly, it's okay. You will get the feedback that was really important. That really made all the difference. I feel like I have my self-respect. That this terrible thing that happened, I'm not alone in it. And that actually matters. Matters that I'm not the only one who it happened to. And then, of course, those who are left standing, they're horrified. They're expected to work at the same level but have no staff? How can that function? It can't. It's a different process now. So they have their own challenges. But as you dream a new dream for all of these, okay, an opportunity. I get to dream a new fabric. Maybe work with the weaver woman as you have been doing. I'm going to weave a new fabric, a more beautiful fabric than the one before, so that it can emerge in the illusion. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
And the grief is real. It needs expression. So you give it time, you give it space, you express it, go through the cycles. Beautiful.
Thank you, Tara.
We love you so. All right, John, who is next?
Melissa.
All right, Melissa. Where do we
Hi,
begin?
Tara.
Yes.
How are you? So thank you. I had a big breakthrough after our private session we had last week, and I've come to the conclusion that I'd like to sell my properties and start new here in Idaho. But what's coming up for me is just a lot of doubt and fear that because one of them I've had on the market hasn't sold, I'm going to put it back, that it's just not going to happen for me. And I feel like that's kind of how I'm starting my day. Like somewhere, I don't know where I made the decision as a kid, like, because I'm generally a happy-go-lucky person. I love life, but I've just had this dread, but also like really wanting to live my soul's purpose. And I'm feeling lost, yet I know I'm being guided, you know? And I just choose happiness and choose living a beautiful life and loving and caring and making impact. And I love real estate but I got hurt in that with people that I thought I could trust. And so I think somewhere I've kind of just killed off that career and I'm scared to put myself out there again. Because usually I will give rather than fight what's fair for myself, you know? And I don't want to do that in business. I want us all to work together and win.
Beautiful. Yes, absolutely. And so a deep sense of hurt or betrayal, you'll find out more when you do the vision process. You'll find what is at the root of that. What is it about that stops you? So it's not uncommon for to be creating your dream and then have a hurt or betrayal show up that you didn't expect. Well, why would you expect it? You don't. And so, but it's not there for no reason. It's there to be healed. It's there to be understood, to understand more about yourself, not so much about the other person.
I think that's what it is. I feel guilty, like I don't want to counter sue her back, that I did suffer damages. And I'm feeling bad about that. Like I feel like it's just and fair, but I'm like, why couldn't we have just worked this out? But every time I wanted to work it out, it was all about her, and never about me. And I wanted to do the right thing by the property. I'm somebody, if I see something in the house that's not right, I'm fixing it. I'm not covering it up. I want families to come into a home and I want it to be safe for them and feel like just know like this house was done right. It's safe behind the walls, not just what you see on the walls. And she was willing to do things that I wasn't and didn't show up to help me at all. And I had to liquidate other assets to complete the project because I cared about my loan and my credit and I feel like it's wrong that I'm going to court over this, you know.
And so for you, the outcome of the court case is what's important. So you still haven't completed it, we assume.
Yeah, no, it's not done, and I thought it'd be complete. I'm scared to call my attorney. I guess I'm just like, I'm scared I'm going to lose. That's all the stuff that's coming up, you know?
All right. And do you have an attorney that tells you that you're going to lose?
No. But
That
I don't know how much I like them.
well,
But
you don't need to like your attorney, but you need one who knows you're going to win.
yes, and I
Because
sent them all my
and
evidence.
we're not saying right or wrong, you should win, but we're saying you create your own reality. So create the attorney that tells you, yeah, we can see how this what you're doing the right thing was important, and your investment should be reimbursed or whatever it is that you're wanting you to achieve here. So you need an attorney that is on board with you with what you want to create. And how you know whether you're creating what you want or not is them telling you. So if they're telling you, no, you're not going to get it, or this is going to be too hard, or it's going to be really expensive, or blah, 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 whatever it is, feedback you don't want, then go back into meditation.
Mm,
Okay, I'm resisting. I'm resisting giving myself what I want. Higher self, help me lift whatever that is. And let's dream a new dream and dream a different attorney if we need to. Or do the meditation, then call again and say, okay, where are we now? You see, each
yeah.
call gives you another opportunity to change. You change the reality within, and then it changes out here. And so as you treat it at, okay, I'm going to use this as a practice of changing my illusion.
Mm,
And I can always change attorneys. I don't have to initially, but I can use that as my practice ground. And if it doesn't get to where I need it to be, then, or if it sounds like it's going to just be way too much money and I won't have anything out of this deal because this attorney is going to take it all, I might need to change. I need to create a miracle around an attorney that can help me, that has been through this before, that has a series of wins, but isn't crazily expensive. So
yeah,
that's
that's why I went with him. He wasn't actually, he made it like it was going to be easy. So that's why I liked it. Where other ones made it so dramatic, like you big deal. I'm like, oh yeah, they're just gonna bill me. And I did submit all my evidence, and then she didn't in time, and so then there was a motion where she had to submit evidence, and she lied, and I submitted evidence showing she lied. So now I just want it to be, I want to be over with it. I want to move forward.
well, you want it to be over, but you want it to be in your favor.
And okay, that's
You see the
okay. That's what
difference?
I'm not saying. Yeah.
And we're not saying drag it out. No, no, no. You do want it to be over. But as you say, no, I want it to be in my favor and I want it to end now. That's a different energy.
Mm,
The other, I just want it to be over, is more, we'll say victimy. Like, I don't
okay,
really have
that's
anything to do with this. I don't really get to say how it's going to go. I don't really create my reality. So as you regroup and say, no, I'm creating all of this. I wrote this script. I don't know how I did it. It's not one I like very much, but somewhere in me is this vibration of doing my best, then being betrayed, then being hurt, and then it all falls apart and it's all my fault.
yeah.
They prove it's all my fault. It's not just that you lost something. You actually have to go to court and they're lying and they're cheating you and they're making you look bad.
Yeah.
They're undermining your respect. So you see, this is a little different than just a simple a friend who betrays you.
Mm,
So now your reputation is included in this. So this is very much about image. So as you recognize, okay, I thought I was doing pretty well with this. I love real estate. I love doing these I'm coming from my heart. I'm coming from my soul in contributing to the world in this way because I have integrity. But the consensus doesn't necessarily have integrity. And that's what you're dealing with here. So your partner's representing the consensus.
Mm.
The average real estate person has a reputation as, well, cutting corners. Well, what does it really matter if we don't tell them the truth? See this, and so your integrity is up against this consensus,
Mm.
and you're not backing down.
No. You could rip off open every wall. That was done right. And that gives me peace. And
Exactly.
I need to be empowered by this, but now I've gotten,
Yes.
I
But
guess,
now you're being told you're the fool because you're not in the consensus, you see. They're trying to get you to back down. So as you go back into meditation and you strengthen yourself and you say, no, my integrity has value.
mm,
It has huge value in a world where nobody trusts anybody anymore. And my reputation matters. And at the end of this, I'm going to shine my light. I'm going to shine more brightly because I'm standing on my principles of valuing myself and others, not just myself. I value the person who purchases my properties. I value the property itself. And I have
mhm,
integrity, but I'm not alone in this, you see. It's easy for you to feel alone, and that is when you will lose. So
mm,
your strength comes from your connection, you see. Your connection to the property, your connection to your higher self, your connection to God, Goddess. Are you going to allow them, the unseen realm, to support you? Will you let them be your protection? To
yes.
know that you are not alone. When you go into the courtroom or when you sign those documents, you don't necessarily have to go to court. But if let's say in this case, you just have to say, this is what happened, this is what so, this is the evidence. Here you
Mm,
go, judge. Or your attorney brings it. Are you going to allow the resonance of your value to lead and write a new script? See, every other court case might lose because, well, you overspent or whatever it is. We don't know what the issue is. But whatever it is the partner is accusing you of, taking too long, spending too much money, whatever it is, you get to write the script. So you go into a meditation and you know that you're right about what you spent, but you don't have her agreement. She didn't want to do it that way. So as you can forgive yourself for having the impact on her for breaking trust. See, in her viewpoint, you broke trust.
mm,
But wait a minute, but I'm doing the right thing. It's with harm to none, but no, you broke trust. So as you can go into meditation, sit with her and her higher self and say, look, I must have had impact. I didn't intend in the pursuit of what was right. For some reason, she had a personal affront. And now she's attacking me. I want to be forgiven, and I forgive myself. You don't really need her forgiveness. You need your forgiveness for doing it wrong, so to speak. For on some level, you had negative impact you didn't want to have. And so if you're judging yourself for that, and you may not even be conscious of it, but
mm,
does it hurt to forgive yourself, whether you're right or wrong about it? No. Forgiveness is allowing the past to disappear so that you can bring in a new future. I want to restore balance and communication. And I want to write the script where I am willing to have it be different this time. I'm willing to let my hurt be healed because I can now see maybe I hurt her too, and I didn't know it. I know she hurt me, but I hadn't really thought about maybe I hurt her too. Maybe it's none of my business. And right now, all I can do is respond to the lawsuit. But what if I forgive myself and I write a script where a new possibility opens up? Something new that I cannot yet see because I'm in my position and she's in her position. So we're both on the game board. We're
Mm.
both dominated by this, avoiding domination of the other. Dominate or be dominated. I don't want that. That's not the reality I want to be a part of. So as you in meditation see yourself step off the game board, I'm not going to play that game. What is important for me to take some small responsibility around? Holding on to the hurt, hurting others. How does this work? Does hurt really need to be a part of my script going forward, or can I let that part go? What was important about that showing up now? Just when I'm moving off into a future,
Yeah.
I'm changing direction. I'm moving into a new future. And I'm holding this as my anchor in that reality. Am I going to use hurt as my last memory? Or am I willing to let that hurt go so that something new can be created there? Something I don't know yet. Something I can be grateful for. So that's just to give you some ideas to loosen that up a bit.
Yeah, no, thank you. I never really thought about maybe she's hurt. So thank you for that. Even if it's,
Well, and she may never say if she is or isn't, doesn't really matter. But as you recognize, I changed the terms. So I must have had impact.
well, I think that's where I've been hurt or upset with myself is she actually never showed up to help me. She would lie and say she'd come and not come and just I had no choice but to do everything by myself. And I avoided getting an attorney because I didn't want to go to court. I thought we could work it out. And then here we are. And so I think the lesson for me is what I'm getting in business is I got to learn to stand up for myself more and have more authority and better boundaries.
Boundaries are good.
Yeah.
As long as they don't mean control the other person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as you really let it, I really didn't create it the way I wanted. I do consider
Yeah.
it failure.
Mm-hmm.
There is grief there. There is sadness, deep sorrow. Didn't turn out the way I thought it could. My dream didn't manifest the way I wanted. And I'm sad about that. And that's okay. But in the depth of the sorrow is the caring, you see. Caring born of sorrow is compassion. I did care whether it worked or not. But when she didn't show up, my caring didn't matter. You need to restore your caring so that you can be compassionate for yourself first and also for her. And then
Yeah,
you'll
because I
write a different outcome on this one.
no, because I did care about her. I mean, I sent her to Landmark. I tried to give her therapy. I saw that she was really lost, and I was like, I know this isn't her. But I got really hurt in the process of,
It does happen.
yeah. Thank you for
But
that.
as you let in, it didn't happen for no reason.
Yeah, I got to see what I was made of for sure, and that I can't be bought, and I will do the right thing, even when I will do the right thing.
That's all the things you're familiar with and that are strengths in you, and we encourage you to build on those. But we also want you to understand there was a moment when she didn't show up that you put down your caring and you lost the opportunity to feel compassion. So you were feeling compassion,
Yeah.
But then in your own sorrow, you put it down. And that is important to resurrect. That you need for what you are creating next.
Oh, that's why I'm having that attitude of not caring about anything, like just feeling blah. Like I'm like, this is not me.
Yes. So pick it up. Go into a meditation with your higher self. Your higher self will either take you to the moment when you put it down or a few moments. Maybe there were multiple, one
There
after
was.
pick the pieces and hold them in your hand and see this beautiful, glowing heart or sun or light, whatever it is, something meaningful to you that represents your caring. And your higher self's going to put it right back into your heart. And you're going to feel that glow as it's restored back to you. Does that sound like something you can do?
Yes, I can do that.
Beautiful. We love you so.
I love you too.
All right. Wonderful. So, John, who is next?
Henry.
All right, Henry, where do we begin?
Hello, Tara. Thank you. Great to be with you again. The well, really with the meditation. I've had a week of just so much wanting to just give up and not feeling caring and picking up the pain. I mean, all the things you've been talking about. Picking up the pain again and those things. And so when it comes to and I've had some magical moments as well, which then remind me, wait a minute. But when it comes to the, magical moments where, something that I wanted but didn't think I could have, just turned up in the way, in a wonderful way. So, which reminds me, yes, it's still there. I've still got it. I've just got to tune in. But it's interesting in the so about revelation and then the emotion, the emotion and the guide. So with the revelation, I think what was happening was I was in Lemuria in the Magic Land and with the I can't remember what those peaks were called now, but I'll call it the Temple of the Dreamers, where I went, and what that was always about for me was just the ease and the elegance of just. Well, with passion, which was so water was the emotion, and with passion and with joy, the hummingbird was the guide. Lazarus told me, I think I mentioned before, that if I think of something with passion and with joy, then it can just happen magically. And the revelation just felt as if it was, yes, what I always love and love the idea of, and it has happened a lot in my life, that things can just turn up and they can be very easy. And at the same time, I'm just getting so bored with thinking and so kind of wanting to give up with thinking that I've got to work really hard to find a job for money or find a way with the money and just getting to that place. And it just all seems kind of too much. And then at the same time, these things happen, and they just happen magically. And it's kind of trying to find. I mean, in amongst all that, I felt I had a lot of rage this week, and I was thinking of how to let go of that. Do you have something to say
So did you let some of
that?
it go? Did you address any of the rage?
Well, I was considering it. I was considering what it was about, and I kept on thinking I need to do a timeline. Well, I asked Katrina, and then I was trying to do a timeline and couldn't kind of get there. And then I tried to find an old timeline that was recorded somewhere, and I couldn't find one. So I kind of gave up.
Right. So, well, that's reminiscent of an excessive loss of power, which rage
Yeah,
represents. So, not powerful enough to get it done, not able to get it together, whatever. So that is, it just deepens and reminds you that it's still there, basically, that there is something there that has to be uprooted and released. And so, how do you restore your power once you've had an excessive loss of power? So, the question is that the real issue
yeah,
in this case? And so, well, it can be potentially. We're just scanning to see if there's something deeper. We sense betrayal is more important. Betrayal leads to rage. And underneath the betrayal is shame. So you have 3 levels that you're dealing with, and we're speaking in terms of the coaching, what you're familiar with. What are the supercharged emotions that need to be released after the primary ones are? And so the shame is easy. That's we have explained over and over again how important it is to have shame be lifted.
yeah,
And really the only way to have it be lifted is to be willing to ask to have it be lifted.
yeah. And I have done that quite a lot this week.
Yes. So that isn't the issue. And we sense that is done. You have completed that. Now the betrayal part. The betrayal, does it come from the unseen realm, or is it in the seen realm? That's a question for you to answer. Are you holding your higher self hostage? I'm still hurting. Where have you been? Why isn't this gone yet?
Oh,
As
I see. That's
as
what you
you
mean by perceived betrayal, isn't it?
Yeah, so the betrayal, there's a betrayal in your reality. Somewhere around love, we would suggest it always is. And especially since you're seeking, you posed last week, well, I really want a relationship, and I want to be in my valued self so that I can create a truly loving relationship. So you're reaching for what you want more of. How wonderful, how beautiful, how appropriate that is. That is exactly the instruction. But then what pops up is why you don't have it yet. What is the belief that is not a resonant match to having what you want? And that belief is often where you can't have it, or you don't have it, or something bad happened back there in the past. And that explains why you don't have it and why you can't have it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And
Well,
so
why don't? Why don't?
Trina was scanning Facebook, and then you emailed her the story, and so she saw it twice, and in that story is the betrayal. How wonderful that you even found the earliest moment, when it happened. And so then the question becomes, okay, there's juice in that story, in that moment.
Right.
Meaning there's power there that has to be recouped. Your power,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
adolescence. So in that moment of the dream being broken, and so it was later actually that it manifested, but it occurred in the adolescent, but then it manifested when you were older. The recognition that, oh, She never loved me, or some such version. So as you really let in, the fear that she doesn't or can't or won't already existed way before in your adolescent. Does that make sense? And then that future event at the reunion, whether you went or didn't doesn't matter, but the information you got, this hurt came back up in that moment to remind you, hey, that's still there. You had this longing for and separation from, there's pain there. It has to be healed. So you've been healing it in different ways, but we want you to be done with it. We want you to gather from your shadow the piece that broke off. How are you going to do that? Well, you go to your temple of soul. So in a meditation, you're in your safe place, your higher self comes, lift out your light body. But there are a few meditations in the past where you can do this. You're going to lift out you're going to leave your physical body in safety, reclining or sitting or being safe. And then you're going to let your light body lift out with that golden thread that connects to your physical body that stretches eternally, because it's actually your soul that's connecting to your physical body. So your higher self and you in light form are going to just go higher and higher and higher, and with the intention of ending up at the temple of soul. And when you reach that zenith, you're going to say, oh, okay, time to descend down into the temple of soul. And when you land, your feet will land, and then you will be present to the temple before you. The doors will open automatically for you, or perhaps it's more complicated because you don't want anyone else to go into your temple, and so you have a iris reader or magic hands, handprint or whatever, or some symbol you have to draw. You can have it be as complex as you want, but you can also just allow it to be elegant and have the doors open because they recognize you on a soul level. That it is you, and it is your temple.
You're just wide open.
And so
With
you enter in with higher self, and you go there with the important mission. Hey, soul, come to me. Perhaps it descends as a beautiful being of light or as a column of light, but you're going to ask to be with your shadow. There in the darkest recess of the temple. Not that your temple's dark, but every building has sort of corners or corridors or whatever. And out of the darkest part of the temple emerges your dark shadow. Cloaked, veiled. Let it be exotic, but loving. Unconditionally loving. Your shadow's not scary. It's an aspect of soul that came into existence in the moment that you were born, with the first thing that you discarded that you thought you'd never need again. And you don't know what that is because you just broke them off, and then the shadow gathered them. And then as you've grown, as you've changed, you've had things restored to you. And you know when it happened because, oh, I feel so different now. I have more energy. I have more life force. I have more presence. So for you, it's that whatever broke off, you don't know what it is. You can know, but you don't have to. What did I broke off a piece of soul in that pain in my adolescence, in my wounding. And I told myself, I will never, could be care again, love again, matter again. It doesn't, whatever the words are, they're going to show up. And your soul's going to have your shadow bring forth an energy of that part of you that broke off. That is an energy of soul, a piece of soul. And your soul's going to gather it up and have it placed in your crown. And you're going to feel it's going to be kind of like having some liquid, warm liquid poured over your scalp. It's going to run down and into you, especially into your shoulders. And you're going to feel it flow all the way down to your feet. And then you're going to feel that connection to earth as that energy is restored. And you're going to understand something about what you've been missing and what's now possible, specifically around love relationships, because that's what you're working on right now. And you're going to see a new possibility. And when that process is complete, your higher self's going to say it's time to go. You're going to exit through those doors. They're going to close behind you until your next visit. You're going to go ahead and travel up into the ether as a light body. And at a certain point, you're going to sense that zenith and you're going to start to drift back down. But this time, you're going to drift down right into the body that's lying in your safe place. And once you're completely settled in, your light body's in your physical form, your higher self's going to do those symbols that your higher self does to match up your chakras. And as soon as that process is complete, you're going to open your eyes, your mental eyes, into safety. And you're going to see the love your higher self has for you. They're going to help you up. You're going to say your goodbyes, and you're going to return. Now, you can just follow along what we just described on the recording to do that process. Just pause it when you need to complete the work.
Yes, wow. The betrayal, I thought, the betrayal at that time, I thought was around my mother, but
Well, it's a, what would you
it's a
call it?
betrayal
When
of
so many
love.
things come together, they're confounded. It's a conflagration. It's all mixed up.
Yeah, but it is betrayal.
Yes. And the way woundings work is there may be a series of events, and then there's finally the one when you know that you're never going to have what you want. Or it could just be one instant. It's different for each of you. Your wounding is unique. It has everything to do with soul and reclaiming your connection to soul.
Yeah. And the I mean, it's interesting. I think last week I was talking about not getting on with things that I need to do, and you were saying that's, parts are being broken off and put into my dark shadow. I mean, how is that related in this sort of way, or is that also something I can go back and to my dark shadow?
Well, you can also do the same process, except you're not looking for betrayal. You're looking for a different energy. And it's not going to be about the wounding, because this work stuff isn't about the wounding. It's about earlier, isn't it? It's about your child and not being allowed to play and needing to be useful
Yeah.
and not getting to play. That's the important part. So
Yeah.
as really,
that-
and so what you have done a lot of work, so you're not necessarily going to have your shadow show up. Your soul may say, no, you've gathered everything from the dark shadow. What's needed now is from the light shadow. The light shadow is your future.
yeah.
What new energies do you, the spiritual adult, require from the future for who we're becoming? You see, your soul is eternal and is expanding, and so there's always more to gather, more to become, more to explore. But most of your reality up until now has really been about recouping what was lost. But you, as you know from doing the soul workshops with us and the time of the double, where you face yourself, you don't just face yourself as in, oh, I'm ashamed of who I haven't become. No, that's not the point of the double, you see. The time of the double is to recognize I exist in duality. I'm a physical expression of the more real. And my future, I get to choose. Do I diminish into being just physical? Or do I expand into exploring the more real and becoming the wise one, where I share my insights with my world? Well, we know that's what you've chosen because that's who you are. So you never need to worry, that you're diminishing into the child and going into Alzheimer's. No, that's not happening. For you already made your choice. I'm going into passion and creativity. I want to give to the world of my creativity, of my passion. And it's been a process of saying, how do I change reality? So there's things that need to end, things that need to be changed, and there's a difference between the two. So in some cases with the duty and obligation, you're realizing, oh, I got to end that. But you can also change duty and obligation to preferences if they're things you want to keep, you see. So for instance, if you're already in a friendship or a love relationship that you cherish, but it needs to evolve because you're up until now you've been the nice guy, but you haven't been fully self-expressed. Now you're becoming more expressive. That's a change. That's not an ending, you see. That's where you say, okay, I'm not gonna be this sort of two-dimensional personality anymore. It's not who I am. They probably already know that, by the way. It's hard to hide who you truly are. People always think they're doing such a great job faking it, that they're not really who they are, that they're more acceptable or whatever the consensus word is. No, you can't hide who you are. And the people that are attracted to be your friends and who you enjoy being with, enjoy exchanging ideas and friendship and love and caring and all of that because of who you are. Love cannot be manufactured, cannot be imitated. When it is on the surface only, it doesn't last very long. It doesn't have anything to generate it. But when you have true love at the source of all of your relationships, and you do, they can be very dynamic. They're never boring. But there's one thing that's consistent, and that is that they exist outside of time and space, so that when you don't see people for a while and then you see them again, the love is what you remember. The love is right there as though it never left, and it didn't, you see, because love exists outside of time. Does that help?
Yes, my experience with friends is that I've taken it to believe that nobody wants to be friends with me at the moment anymore. But I mean, and I know that.
But
Well,
likely to do is to have a good talking to. Am I
hmm?
being likable? Am I being lovable? Am I showing up?
All right,
How are you judging yourself? And it's coming at you through that.
right.
So as you do a reset around what really matters to me about my relationships, I'm not going to connect with everybody, but there are some key friendships that I cherish that I do want to continue. And if there's an issue, you see, are you accepting them as they are? Are you allowing them to accept you as you are? Or are there these conditions? Well, I only reach out to them when I feel perfectly good, when I have all my act together, blah, blah, when I'm perfect. Or do I only call them when I'm really down and out and can't take care of myself and hopeless, helpless? So I'm not balancing with good feelings and with love and with caring and with listening? Or is it all just about me? So you want to be aware, well, as a peacemaker, you're probably never making it about you. And now that you need to make it about you, you're aware that this is really uncomfortable. Maybe I just won't call them. So as you really just, it's up to you to assess case by case, person by person, we should say. They're not cases, they're people. They're beings that you have allowed to be more real, souls that are here to help you on your journey. Your soul is helping them, their soul is helping you as you are willing to have that support system be there for you instead of defaulting into I'm all alone and I'm going to fail. Because, and those thoughts are coming up not for no reason, but to let you know those thoughts get in the way of being who you are. Oh, so when I go into, I don't matter, I'm all alone, nobody loves me, nobody wants to hear from me, they're all angry at me, I should just go away. It kind of goes that way. Maybe there's a different order to things, but it essentially ends up with I should just go away. To be safe, you see. That's not you the more, and you know it. It's yourself. So how do you get back into, wait a minute, am I really willing to be present? Can I be present? Am I willing to focus on cherishing the love that is there? Am I willing to have fun? Even with all this drama going on, am I willing to suspend that and enjoy the company of my friends? Because you see, if the relationship is a series of moments in time, and the only moments you're gifting them are when you're talking about everything that's going wrong, and you're not balancing with all the things that are going right, then it's an unfair representation of you, isn't it? Aren't you being a little stingy? If you never let them know all the miracles you are creating? So you see, relationships are about balance and harmony, and yet, in order for them to be truly interesting, they have to be dynamic. You have to have good news and bad news and in-between news. You have to be dynamic. Not entertainment, not really, but how do you know somebody's real? Well, they have a range of experiences to share. How do you know they're your friend? Well, they share things that are more vulnerable. Sometimes, not all the time. How do you know you can trust them? Because they're consistently real with me. And so the question becomes, are you consistently real, which equals, are you becoming more of who you truly are with them? Are you showing them you're a magician? Are you showing them you're a dreamer? Are you showing them the love that you are? And only you can know where you are on that scale with people. When you're in the fear, you can be sure you're none of that stuff. And so it really is important to make that effort when you have a get-together with somebody, that you put that, you leave it at the door. Fear can stay there. I'll pick it up if I want it when I get home, but I'm not taking it with me. And we're not saying fake it. We're not saying fake that your life is okay. No, you know what the problems are, but you're not only your problems. You're much more than that. And it becomes a question of, you don't know how long you're here. None of you do. You act as if you know, but your soul has a timeline for you, hopefully very long out from this moment. Are you going to make every moment count? Every moment is an opportunity to shine your light. to flow your love? Are you going to make that the priority? And we know that you have made it a priority. And now it's more about living it. It's more about really letting it carry you. And it will. Miracles abound. Magic happens. And because of who you are, Henry, you do have a standard that says, I need to make the magic. It's not enough to receive it. I love receiving, but there's a part of me that's saying, well, what about my spirit? Where's my masculine energy in all this? I want to activate my spirit. I'm ready to make the magic. And that requires spirit. So while you're hanging out with soul in your temple, invite your spirit to show up too. Because you can. Why not? It's efficient. And spirit comes from soul. It emerges out of more soul energy, more spirit. And spirit wants the instructions from soul. What matters to us? What are we going to go gather next? What are the energies we're going to gather? The energies of manifestation, you see. So your world is very comfortable with talking about the manifestation part. Oh, yeah, that's the masculine. But it can't work if it isn't connected to soul. Not in the way you intend. That's one of the maps you're making. Francis was talking about, I want to do it differently now. I don't want to be macho. I want to be strong, but I don't want to be overbearing. I want to be in my authority, but I don't want to dominate. It's not an improved masculine energy. It's a different masculine energy. The one that's connected to the feminine, that emerges from it, is a new masculine energy that each of you are developing, not just the men, the women too. You're here to explore manifesting your visions. How do I have more of the stuff of reality, but coming from my spirituality? Staying connected, allowing myself to receive from God, Goddess, being in my divinity, in my authority, in balance, in harmony, trusting that I create reality. It's where you're heading. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Just kind of on the back of that, I was just wondering, I want to, I have these conversations with you all the time, and we're wondering if I was being selfish, but at the same time, you, with all of us that share, that you say that, it's helping other people. I mean,
So we'll just clarify. All of these conversations are a co-creation of the group.
right?
Some don't want to ask the question, but they have the question. They may not have exactly your particular question, but there's something in it for everyone, woven into the conversation. So you are a voice for the group. And that's the magic, isn't it? There's elegance and ease in that. Not everybody has to have one-on-one time in these gatherings. A handful of you are the voice. And in that, the opportunity to bring forth different ways of working your magic, aligning the energies, becoming more of who you truly are. And so we do thank you for that. And to honor yourself, to know that I had the courage. I had the courage to work in a public way for the benefit of myself first and the group. Beautiful.
Right.
All right, and we believe there's one more down.
Yes, Monica.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, we love you so. All right, Monica, where do we begin?
Hi, beautiful Tara. What a that was so well said. We I am a little uneasy. Trying to have my joy. I I don't know what happened. I mean, and I know you know what I'm speaking of, and I don't know if I'm going to. We're gonna. I'm gonna come back and rejoice there. With that particular person. I know that. I probably bombard. Messages is probably 1,000 messages. I don't know. I mean, I'm reacting maybe 100 in a week. I know that, and then I try to change it, like you said, make choices. So I send a very nice picture. So to try to change it. So hopefully, um, I'm just trying to see if I change anything, if it's possible, I'm gonna go back and I'm really like I want the happiness, but I'm like the I just don't know what happened there, and I just hoping at the end result that I able to rejoice and regroup with him. Because that's
Okay,
what's really wrong.
so what we're sensing is he's way more real than you are in your conversation. So you want to bring that energy back into you. He's, as you allow him to be an illusion, yes, he's more real. Yes, he has a soul. Yes, he has a higher self. But in this instance, in the way that things played out, whatever it was,
Yes.
it's important to bring yourself back to, okay, that didn't work, whatever that was. I thought I was on track, but what popped up as I reached for what I wanted, what popped up was something that's in the way, something in my thoughts, something in my feelings isn't a resonant match for where I'm heading next. So as I reach for love, as I reach for a relationship, as I reach for success, what's come up is whatever the impact was on you of the situation. So what are you feeling? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling troubled? Are you feeling insecure? Are you feeling uh, undeserving, worthless, whatever, ashamed? Any of those things, that's what's in the way. Not because you're bad and wrong, but your higher self, your soul are showing you, hey, these resonances, these lower resonances don't belong in you anymore. It's time to put them down. It's time to release them, to delete them, to fill yourself up with the love and the light and go return to your vision of what it is you want. So a while ago, you learned the swish pattern. If you still have that recording, do that exercise so that your physiology changes, because right now you're in the upset of what happened. And now you just want to fix it. You just want to make things happen out here, but in here hasn't changed yet. So you need to work on this part here first. You prioritize yourself and say, okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to reach for joy. I'm having a hard time. There's an emotion in the way, or there's a thought in the way. That's what needs to be changed. So how do you change it? Well, you change it by healing something within yourself, turning it over to your higher self, allowing God, Goddess to come in, to intervene, to change the neurology, change those connections. Whatever the familiar emotion is, the familiar thoughts from the past. We're not necessarily talking about being free of fear, because fear is natural when you're about to grow, when you're about to expand. It's natural to feel inadequate. But the answer isn't that you are, meaning that you should be ashamed of it, but rather it's an instruction from your higher self, from your soul. You need to go gather new energy. You need to be willing to go into the unknown, go into the beautiful unknown, gather of beauty, or go into the silent or the sacred. any of those three. Go to all three if you want. Fill up on those energies. You're not going to be able to sense them necessarily. You may get visuals, but you might not. You might just get a sense of wholeness or well-being or light or silence, a quieting of the mind. And when you come back, you're going to notice, I am different now. And now I'm going to go about the work. What do I want to create? This or something better? This relationship without the drama, without the broken trust or the hurt feelings, whatever it was that happened. This or something better from the new me. And as you envision it and embody it in the energies, you're going to see what your next step is. It's going to make sense. The illusion will change. It is an illusion. Does that help?
Yes, I am. As you're talking, I was doing it. As I do that, because I would say I found my match.
And what shows up is your resistance to having your match. So as you do your inner work and you let go, what's in the way? What are my negative thoughts? What are my negative emotions? How am I getting in the way? When I have the thought, I have my match and I can't have it. Where do I go? What do I make it mean? So that's what needs to be cleared out. The I can't have it, or it's not my time, or I'm not enough. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was thinking that. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
what needs to
cancel that.
be released. That's what needs to be healed. How do you heal it? You go gather new energy from the future. From the unknowns is most elegant because you don't know what you need. In the here and now, you can't see what you need yet. You just know you need something. You need something more. So go with higher self, journey into the unknowns. Just see it as a beautiful open space. Go with your higher self and gather of beauty. Gather gifts from God, Goddess, and the sacred. Gather from the silence, where your inner knowing, you can hear yourself, maybe for the first time. For some of you, not you. You hear yourself quite well. As you allow yourself to gather those energies, they're not going to make sense necessarily, but your resonance is going to change, and it's going to be easy to let go of the self-doubt. Oh, okay, I did doubt myself. That's an old pattern. I don't need that anymore. When I love myself more and I trust and I connect, the way that I am, the things I say, the things I do, they're in alignment. And it's fun. I know I'm on track when I'm feeling joy, when I'm having fun. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have something to say. When
Yeah.
I was feeling really joyful in love, he felt it, and then his office, and now wants to be just in that part of the office, and I'm just thinking he had to feel something, because I think he felt when I was really, really happy for giving him love. And then when I got upset, I saw he didn't like that. He he was going like a little circle. So he's sensitive to how I feel, and you give me so I am able to go into goddess's energy with your permission, because I believe, and I can change that, and then mellow. I'm asked with the highest love to mellow him, and I am mellowing him. Like, you should see the stuff I told him quite frequently. I know it's just a temporary thing. I feel it, but that's too much. It was too much praising for maybe every 5 minutes. I couldn't help myself. So I know that's a little bit me. He's missing that, but I do feel a positive, joyful in a short time once I regather myself because it's true the negativity affecting me. I doubt and I'm gonna bring up and stay up and I go to fear.
Well, don't deny yourself if you are feeling negative stuff, but the important thing is not to project it, not to make it his problem, not to take it out into the world, but rather go and take a time out, so to speak, for yourself to reconnect. And when you do that, then okay, I'm having these feelings. This is in the way of me feeling my joy. But these feelings have nothing to do with anyone outside of me. These are from my past. And I need to be free of them in order to be in that joyful resonance. So it's not about being perfect. If they come up, they're coming up for a reason. They're coming up to be released. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm releasing and clearing
And you're reaching for the joy, and that is exactly the right thing to do.
does does he feel my energy like in this, because he was telling me that every time he see me he goes in there it feels so different. What have I done? I didn't there. So if I send profound love, is it going to impact him? I'm trying to control it because right now I was upset, but I'm going to go into my joy.
Yes. And everyone is affected by your joy. So you see, your resonance precedes you before you enter a space. Your energy, your resonance, your intention for that space precedes you. So it's important to be conscious, isn't it? This is a message for all of you. When you're thinking you don't matter, when you doubt yourself, that resonance is a mismatch for who you truly are. So as you prioritize, I need to show up in my light. I need to show up in my love, because whatever space I enter, I have impact. And I want to have the most beautiful impact possible. And when I have that intention, when I'm connected to my higher self and I bring that intention forth, magic happens, miracles happen. I create magic in my reality. Miracles of love. Does that make sense?
Yes, Tara, I have been calling you and through my mind with the love energy and request, and I'm changed. Uh so I don't want to lose him. I I no I hope I don't lose him. I hope I didn't scare him. Cancel that. Some love and joy.
You do not need to worry. You may or may not keep him, so to speak. So as you understand, oh, my fear is about losing the love. That's my inner work to heal that feeling of I'm going to lose it. I can get it, but then I'm going to lose it. So there are different patterns of love. Some people have issues getting the love. Some people have issues keeping the love. And some people have issues at losing the love that they got. So keeping and losing is a little different. It's similar, but it's different. So as you recognize, oh, I'm bringing that script to the relationship, I need to change my script. I need to be conscious of, what do I want to create? And then why do I say I can't have it? It's me saying that, not anybody out there, not him, not the world, whatever. Though it may come at you through those channels, but as you say, this is reflecting back to me my beliefs, my attitudes, my thoughts, my feelings, my choices, my decisions. What do I want instead? And while you're at it, ask the question that connects you with your divinity, which is, who am I really? Am I this bundle of emotion, this doubt, or am I something more? Of course, you are something more. But as you ask the question, who am I really? You begin to open up to the beyond the physical plane, into the realm of the unseen, of that which you truly are, the love and the light that you are. And you know of what we speak because you do have access to that very easily, beautifully.
So you hear me.
Of course.
So permission, I want to explore this love.
Yes. As
So
you allow yourself to long for that love, that the qualities of that love, and ask for this or something better, because this is prompting all of this processing. That's the function of this moment. It's supposed to bring this stuff up so you can clear it out. Then once it's clear, then you're able to receive the relationship that has all the qualities that you're asking for. Does that make sense?
yes, and going forward, I've looked and I didn't feel, I actually feel match. I feel match, but it's my thoughts because I blocked myself from having this opportunity. So
So
I'm gonna
focus
clear.
on how does it feel to find your match?
Okay, I will.
Yes, and dream that dream, and then this or something better. Maybe it will be him. It will be really nice if it is him, but if it isn't, don't give up on the dream of it. Don't give up on defining how it feels, because it is knowing how it feels that will create it, you see.
Going to the deeper rims of the love is his free choice, free will, willing to accept beyond. You see it. You see and accepting.
So in a world of free will, which you all exist in, the illusion of people stops being illusion when you allow someone to be more real. You allow them the freedom to have will. So then when they choose to love you, it's very exciting and it's wonderful because, wow, they chose you. So write the script where you're chosen.
I will write the script. I started.
And you know that you're creating it. You see, I'm creating the love in my life because I'm willing to be loved. Because I've removed all the obstacles in myself to being loved. I'm willing to be loved. That's the key. That's the important aha that you should be getting. That, oh, okay. So if I'm creating a reality where I'm getting pushback, or I'm getting someone who's wishy-washy, or who just outright doesn't want me, there's a whole range of possible rejections and acceptances. There's a range of acceptances. But what we're hearing is, well, I want someone who really truly loves me for who I am. And the road to that is being that before you get it. Loving yourself unconditionally. Being willing to truly put yourself first and loving yourself, knowing you are worth loving, that you are already loved. That's the key. That's so important. And that requires healing the child. It requires working with your inner child so that she is able to receive, so that she's free to be who she is, so that she's joyful, so that she's the magical child, so she's the free child. In her reality, she needs to be fully loved, unconditionally loved, totally nurtured, totally safe. And that frees you up to be the spiritual adult that you are. And that you your spiritual adult self knows that you are worth loving, that you are already loved, that the goddess loves you. And it's you that gets in your own way. So it's that last little bit that's important to recognize. Oh, I'm the one putting up the obstacles. I'm the one who's resisting. But it looks like he's not wanting me. And maybe that's the script you wrote, but you can change the script, but you're writing the words. It's important to own that. It's important to take ownership of the reality that you're generating so you can bring it back in and redesign it. And be free, be more free to be you. That's the key.
Ara, I love you, and I started a few hours ago. I started by I sent him something. I don't know you're able to see it. That's the beginning of something new. I'm gonna start on that focus. Is that my direction I'm gonna be heading? I'm sure you can see it.
And
I hope you loved it.
whatever happens, there's something to respond to.
Yes.
Always say, okay, I'm having these feelings, whatever they are, good, bad, ugly, whatever, in between, ecstatic, the whole range. You're going to have some feelings and you're going to have some thoughts. Bring it back to you. Okay, I'm having these feelings. In response, do I want to continue to generate them or do I want to change them? Are they positive? Then I want to continue them. If they're negative, I want to change them. I want to end some of these patterns because it's me holding back, or it's me celebrating and expanding into love. Does that help?
Yes, you have helped me and beautiful knowledge, and I really appreciate you so much. I feel the change already.
We thank you for your vulnerability. We love
Thank
you
you
so. All right, John, is there another?
But I was wondering, could you go into that process of writing a different script, just to clarify?
All right. Well, the first step is to step back and well, you know what the script is because something happened. And then something happened. So there's what you thought should happen that didn't happen, or it went a certain way, it went crazy, went wonky, and there was impact. And it's usually the impact that you're upset about. Because if what happened going forward actually worked out well, you don't care so much, do you?
Right.
You do care about the means, but if you had good intentions, high intentions for it to work out and you express something but then it landed wrong, or they reacted and you didn't expect that, or we'll just say something more neutral. You made an investment and it failed. Right. Well, if you made the investment and it won, would you have cared what the vehicle was?
No.
Not so much, but you're worried. There is a script, though, that says I make an investment and then I fail.
Right.
So we'll just use that one to work with. So what would you want it to be instead? Well, it would be obvious. I want to make an investment and I win. So do you win under any condition, or do you have principles?
Right.
Like Melissa said, well,
yeah.
I want to do this for the good of all. I want it to be a win-win-win. I want to be in my integrity. I want to know that I'm creating safety for others. So when you think of your investment, you don't necessarily think as deeply about it because, well, you're thinking, oh, well, it's just widgets, it's just money. But actually, it's the same equation. And when you can get focused on what you want your positive impact to be, beyond the getting, well, I want money, but I want it to be because I created something, because I responded to an opportunity, because I used my intuition, because I felt my feelings and I followed my feelings, because I checked in with my higher self And I worked with my higher self when we picked this vehicle. And that's why. Because I used my will and my love. So you have conditions, you're just not conscious of them if you're saying, well, I just want to win.
So in Monica's case, with her relationship,
Yes.
how would that apply?
Well, she wrote a script where she expresses herself and the person goes crazy.
Right.
It's too much. It's too intense, too much feeling. Don't do that. Well, that's a script she wrote because she was in her joy. She was feeling all the intensity. Now, is the message, I would love some of that, but not now? Or you're too intense? Then you have to look back to, okay, how familiar is that feedback? How familiar is it to be fully self-expressed and then have your reality shut you down? Well, if you were a little kid in grade school, probably happened a lot. Teachers saying, sit, be quiet. Don't do that. Don't be yourself. Follow the rules. Rein it in. Don't be so loud. Don't be so self-expressed. It would have been a very common theme for a lot of you in grade school, especially in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, when you're so exuberant, so full of life, so full of energy, so full of soul. And the teacher's just trying to get their job done, get their teaching done. So they have a totally different agenda than the kids. The kids just want to play. And the teacher just wants to follow the rules and instruct the kids so that at the end of it, they're a better citizen, you see.
Right.
Different intentions.
So what are we writing here?
Well, you're looking for what's the earliest time, of course. Because nothing that happens that's upsetting is from the here and now.
Right.
It's always from the past. So which past are you bringing to bear? The only access you have is to understand your backdrop. The current time is thoughts and feelings, beliefs, attitudes, choices, decisions. What am I doing right now? And why am I having this emotional upset? Because you don't have to be upset. You could be responding with new creative thought. You could be responding with new ideas. How I'm going to do it next time. Okay? This time didn't work. I got the message. I'm going to release something from back here and I'm going to start again. Do I still want this thing I'm creating? And do I want a different positive outcome? Do I want a different outcome altogether? Or is this vehicle that I picked not even the right vehicle because what I really want is this impact? And I thought I would get it through these means. Does that make sense?
Right. So, yeah. So then so going back, you would look at where the source of that upset came from.
Well, it's usually, let's say, a child. Okay, so you picked your investment vehicle and it failed. Failure in investments means loss of money, loss of capital. Okay. So you have emotions about that: scared, disappointed, freaked out, whatever. And then you bring that to bear on the next future. Well, if I didn't get it right here, I can't trust myself now. I don't know anything. I'm completely unprepared for life, for reality. Who does that sound like? It's certainly not the spiritual adult.
Right.
It's the very young child.
Right.
Maybe the first day of grade school. Maybe the moment you were born into the physical plane. It's up to you to use muscle testing to find out what was the earliest time.
Yeah.
Because you use muscle testing. For others, they use just meeting with their higher self, use their intuition, or they use a pendulum. Whatever you use to tune into the unconscious is valid. Build rapport with your unseen realm. However you can. You're bringing that information. Some of you journal. Very powerful to journal and write and get that information from the within into the physical plane. Especially when you want to manifest something, it's important to write it out so that you see it, so that you feel it, and it's on paper. Now it's in the physical dimension, you see. When you keep what you want in your head, well, the unconscious says, okay, you just want to think about it. No problem. We can do that for many years.
Okay. So you've outlined where the source of the issue was.
So you don't just know the source, do you? You have to heal it.
Yeah.
Do you have to heal it? No, you're not enough. You've already told yourself you're not enough. So you're not the one who's going to go heal it. Your higher self's going to come in. Or maybe you have a healer from an ancient one healer from a Lemurian lifetime. Maybe you have a Syrian magician that you're working with. Maybe you have the goddess and God on speed dial. Come in, make the difference. Bring your energy and bring your love, bring your unconditional love to this moment. Maybe you rewrite that script so that the first day of school or the first day you're born is a totally different reality.
So you literally rewrite it and you actually physically write it? Or
Well, not that part. You write out what the goal is that you want. You don't need to write out your child's reality. Once they're healed, now you're free of that. Now you look at, okay, what's so right now? What's in my illusion? What's my next opportunity to create something new? What script do I want to write? Now you can write your script. Now I'm going to write. I'm going to invest, or I'm going to be open to investing. I want to have multiple choices. I don't want to just have one. So if you're in the stock market, I want to have multiple stocks. And I want to pick a few that have the right look and feel. So we're adding feeling, but that's because you take in information through your perceptions. There's much more that you're judging with than just the numbers or just the chart. You're bringing in information from your world, from the economic cycles, from the politics, from the understanding of where are things at in your reality. So if they're talking about crypto, if they're talking about Tesla, if they're talking about whatever, there's going to be, you're going to have emotions. Your emotions tell you what you believe.
Right.
What you think and what you feel leads you to your beliefs and your attitudes. So are you going to invest in something that you have anxiety around? Probably shouldn't do that. Are you going to invest in things that sound exciting, that seem to have a future to them? Because the stock market's all about the future, you see.
Okay.
Perception of the future. When the perception of the future changes, the stock price will change. Important to know that. Given that you're working with your future self, creating who you are right now, maybe you should powwow with your optimal future self. Okay, I've got these stocks I'm looking at. I've narrowed it down to 5. What strategy should I use? What's important about these that I picked? Why did these appeal to me? What are you bringing in from the future that I should be paying attention to? Now, that does require imagination, doesn't it? So when we say, do you think you can do that process? How does it sound? Is it even interesting?
Yeah, sure it is. So you would say, so is there actual physical writing involved in what you're talking about, or can it be all meditative? Or
Well, you should begin meditatively, but if you are getting guidance and you are discussing options and what would be for my highest good, what's a win-win-win, and they give you instruction, you're better off writing it down afterwards because you'll forget it otherwise.
right. Okay.
So you do that quite often. You have a journal.
Yeah. So you're saying the process, say for Monica, would be to look at where she was upset, see what in the past was familiar about her upset. Is that what you would describe?
Yes. So the thought that I'm not good enough. So when was the earliest time? How familiar is that? That sort of way of being? Because it's not just a thought. There's emotions. There's an attitude that comes with it. There's even a physical posture sometimes.
Now, why would she feel I'm not good enough? Because,
Well, that's none of your business.
okay,
She's going to find an earliest time.
okay.
Maybe she was born into it. Maybe she had something happen when she was 2. Maybe she had something happen when she started school. Whatever. Those are examples. She has the ability to reflect. It's in her backdrop, you see. It's not very far. You don't have to reach very far. It's whatever you can remember. Oh, but I don't remember my past. Then there's nothing to look for that's obvious. Then you may need some sort of process that helps you interact with conversations in such a way that it pulls it out of your unconscious when it's safe to know it, you see. That's what meditations are so beautiful at, is they take you into that altered state, but they don't just take you there for no reason. They take you there. We take you there into your safe place. So you establish that foundation of safety, and that creates the rapport. Now your unconscious and your subconscious are ready to share. They're ready to provide the guidance that you're seeking through your higher self. So we bring the higher self in, and the higher self is the spokesperson for the more of you. The higher self is the more of you. It's an elegant way. But if you don't have a relationship with your higher self yet, you can still work very effectively with your subconscious and your unconscious. But you have to create the safety, you have to create the rapport, and then a certain memory will show up. Not all memories. We're not talking about perfect recall here. You only need the little nugget. You only need the impression. It can be the scantest bit of feeling. And that can be enough for you to know, oh, I know exactly what I need to heal.
Okay, so now you know what you have to heal.
Then you bring your higher self into that event, to the little you.
Okay.
In their reality.
Or if you don't have a relationship with your higher self.
Well, then you have to bring someone more. You can't skip that part. Because you know you're not enough. You have that feeling, so you know you're not enough. You're not the right person for the job. But you can bring God. You can bring Goddess. You can bring source energy if you don't want to name what that is.
You can bring in an angel.
You can bring in, exactly, a guardian. You can bring in a guardian who's been with you, a grandmother, grandfather energy, someone of love, of infinite unconditional love. That's really a requirement. Someone you trust. And then that being will come and will work with the child to lift the shame, to heal the pain, to remind them of who they truly are, to free them of that event. And they will be asked, the child will be asked, what do you want instead? What do you need right now? Well, I need to be with parents who love me unconditionally, who are always going to be there for me, who are going to keep me safe. So you create that reality. Maybe the same parents and they've just evolved into beautiful people, or it may be totally different parents. There's no requirement to keep the ones you were born with. It's up to you. If you don't trust those people, don't leave your child with them. Very important. You're not doing your child any service by leaving him in a past that you don't want. So you give him a new one. Let the child have a beautiful reality in their time, in their space. Doesn't have to be the same as yours. And you're going to notice a shift in who you're being. That feeling not good enough is going to dissipate. It's going to disappear. And when it does, you're going to leave your child with your higher self. You're going to, or with the guardian, you're going to come back to this time in this space. You're going to look at what do you want to create next? Maybe the same thing, but now you're also going to be willing to see the possibility. I'm going to express my love and I'm going to listen. Is that person comfortable? Can I do this with more caring? Can I be compassionate? Can I hear back that they love me? Or does that make me freak out? Then there's more work to be done. So you see, it's playing it out in the imagination is the best possible way of pre-paving to see how are you going to respond when you get what you want. And if it's, oh, well, I got what I wanted, on to the next. But then is it even worth creating that? Are you reaching for the stars with what you want? We're not talking about Monica. She is reaching for the stars, and that's wonderful. But those of you that are, well, I just want to get it done and I just want the outcome to be good. And has about that much passion, that much empathy, that much intention. It's not good enough. Who you are becoming is so much more than living by rote, than checking boxes. If you're just checking boxes on, well, by the time I was 30, I was going to do this, check. By the time I'm 40, I'm going to do this, check. By the time I'm 50, I'm going to do this, check. No, you're not here to create reality that way. You're here to be creative and to be co-creative. To now, you have a whole nother level of creation. Before it was, what could you imagine? Now you're co-creating. You're going to allow your higher self to add their imagination. You're going to allow God, Goddess to add their love and their light to the equation. What more miracles can you create now? That you are allowing a different level of reality creation. That's the conversation we want you to be having. All right, on that note, we'll go for now. Certainly so. We go with love and peace.
Yeah. So in that conversation, you're rewriting the script.
Absolutely. And checking in on yourself. Because it's an identity issue. When you're not getting what you want in the way you want, what's going on? What has changed within you? Is what you're reaching for so new that you don't really know who you should be yet, and the old identity is exerting itself? Or is it that you know exactly how it's going to play out because, well, that's the way it always happens. Now you know you're dealing with your adolescent. Or if you feel not good enough and a sense of, I don't think I can create it and all of that, that's really the child usually.
Right.
And there could be shame that has to be lifted. Once that's lifted, then look to see, okay, what's going on there? Why do I deny myself? Well, how is that a strategy of safety? How does that keep me more safe than having what I want? Because for some of you, it is extremely threatening to have what you want. Because of the displeasure or the punishment or the not okay with God part that comes to for some of you who grew up in a very strict religious context. So know that we're working between the words here. And each of you are bringing stuff up. So turn it over to your higher self to heal in your dream state tonight. Allow the healing. Perhaps review the meditation in the coming days. There's magic there. There are gifts for you from your higher self.